Coming up on Tekzilla, happy Thanksgiving, people. We're going to go deep inside the Google OS with Maximum PC's Will Smith. Geotagging your photos, Serafina's going to show you how HP's new MediaSmart servers are fast. And it's Black Friday coming up, so Veronica's bringing you some shopping tips. Thaw out that turkey, crank up your oven, and mash those potatoes. And remember to give thanks. Tekzilla starts now. This episode of Tekzilla is made possible by the new Ford Sync, featuring hands-free calling, music search, and turn-by-turn navigation, Squarespace, and Nokia. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to Tekzilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most of the gear you've already got.
Whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about tech or the best way to brine a turkey, we've got an answer for you.
And if we don't, we'll track down somebody who does. So, I understand there was a mad, event-filled night while I slept on the couch Sunday.
Yeah, you poozed out, man. You missed a good time. It was Roger's birthday, and we karaoke'd it up.
Actually, do we have the video of my former roommate Josh and Veronica? Can we roll that in there?
Yeah, Josh is probably the best karaoke partner I've ever had, I have to say.
I like the fact that you guys are
embarrassed
like...
that video was taken, but
you guys are like synchronized swaying.
I know. We're a good match, me and Josh. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But more important than my attempts to sing Toto, which has been, by the way, in my head for the past week, is Stan's question about his Roku. Stan wrote in asking, okay, I went out and bought my Roku box. What happened? Happy holidays, Stan.
Well, here's the deal. They just turned on the new services on Monday of this week. You're going to click on the channel store, scroll to the right, you'll get Revision 3. You can actually add the Revision 3 programming right up to the homepage of the Roku box, and click, 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 and Tekzilla, and all of our episodes are going to be in place, ready for you to check out. Now, if we're moving a little fast here, no problem. Go to revision3.com/Roku. We've got the full instructions on how to get the Revision 3 programming up on your Roku box. And if you've been thinking about buying one and not sure if you want to, do us a favor. If you do decide to buy one, get one from the links at revision3.com/Roku. We're an affiliate of Roku now, and you'll basically be helping us keep bringing the programming to you.
But speaking of sponsor deals, so you know how we did that whole thing with Go to Assist Express where we had the Tekzilla deal where people could get a certain amount off. They could get the free 30-day trial. So I actually had cause to use it recently. And this is not part of our sponsorship deal, me saying this right now. They're not paying us any extra for giving personal accounts of the service. But my friend Naomi was having some trouble with an Excel sheet because...
That Naomi?
Yeah, what?
That Naomi?
Yeah, my only Naomi.
I know.
The #1 Naomi in the world. And so she was having some problem with Excel 2008 on Mac because she hadn't used Excel on Mac before. Right. And so I actually went in, used the Tekzilla account, logged into her computer, and fixed all her formatting issues in like 2 minutes. It was so fast, it was mental.
And basically the nice thing about, and not to take anything away from Naomi's sophistication or intelligence, like many of us or many of our friends out there, she's not what you would call the most computer enthusiastic individual.
She's learning. She's learning big time.
So is my mom,
yeah,
who finally started using a computer 2 years ago.
No,
but it's
Naomi
nice to be able to just reach out and fix things without having to
I'm so going to use this with my family now, like all the time. Like now that my eyes have been open to it, because we use it around the office a little bit and to help you guys out on the show, but this is my first real world application. And it was an eye-opener.
Like, oh my God!
This is easy. This is great.
Okay, now type in 192.47. No, you don't have to do that.
She just clicked the link, and then she was like, oh my God, oh my God, you're talking. And we were on the phone too, because it was just easier that way. So she could be like, all right, this is where I'm doing it. Right. And I'm like, by the way, if we have any incriminating IMs open right now, now would be the time to probably
close them. You can, in fact, still score that fabulous 30-day deal. Let's go to assist.com/Tekzilla. And this, by the way, is advertising oriented. And if you try this fabulous 30-day free trial at go to assist.com/Tekzilla, you'll help keep us employed and Tekzilla on the air.
Woohoo!
So did I say 30-day free trial? Let's go to assist.com/Tekzilla. All right, look. enough. This is our Black Friday episode. We figured we'd give you some folks basically how to track down some of the deals and specials that we're all expecting this Friday. I will be probably waiting until Sunday to see if anything's left from the Black Friday
but what
special
about Cyber
flags.
Monday?
What's that?
Cyber Monday.
Well, I have like Cyber Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it pretty much goes on 365 days a year.
Does your wife know that? Ha ha! Made a cyber joke. Did you guys get that? Anyway.
Notice all of our hands are on the table.
Cyber Monday, I don't know what that means. Cyber Monday is the day after Black Friday, where it's kind of like the leftover deals. It's usually not as good deals that are on Black Friday, but there's more like online deals. You could, keep your eyes open for that kind of stuff.
So while you're sitting in your cube all depressed that all of the Susie Wetsit dolls and the Jimmy Dale Builder thing that were at the giant big box store were gone when you got there at 6:45 a.m., you can order a slightly less fabulous deal online on Monday from your cube at work in the comfort of your own home.
And some of the big things to keep your eyes open for are like LCD TVs usually have a pretty big drop in price. Laptops, for example, I'm sure there's going to be tons of netbook deals coming up this year as well. I don't know if it's going to be like subsidized pricing or what's going to happen, but there's a lot of places you can track down these deals.
Looks like Best Buy and Walmart are doing like $300 laptops. HDTV prices have been getting cut. There's probably not a whole lot of Blu-ray players down there, but there are a lot of movie specials, a couple of sub-$100 GPS devices. And Gadget.com, I have to say, actually has done a pretty good job of getting the leaked flyers, because somebody has to print the billion of flyers, like a zillion flyers go out in the Sunday newspapers.
Yeah, they come from somewhere.
Well, they basically scored them early, and if you go to Gadget.com, search for Black Friday, you'll have links to all of the sites that have found all of the flyers, so you can decide, like, where do I need to be at 6 a.m. on Black Friday?
Where do I have to line up?
Walmart, Target, probably not Sears.com. They're not doing a whole lot of cuts this year, but
yeah.
I've never found something I wanted so bad that I would be like outside of any store on 6 a.m. on Black Friday.
I am just too lazy. The
I'm just
cheapness
too
value,
scared.
the drop in price almost never seems to balance out the I don't want to get up early.
But I've
mental
also,
price.
I mean, I've had little old ladies elbow me out of the way a couple days before Christmas in the mall. I don't want to know what they're like on Black Friday. Hey, Veronica actually has some highly useful Black Friday links for everyone.
Yes, I do. Well, you can check out blackfriday.net, which we'll be talking about a little bit later in the show. There's some weekend coupons listed at Kotaku, all gaming sorts of stuff, which is really great. Kmart's Black Friday game sales are also listed at Kotaku, and Walmart's got a Black Friday video game deal. A lot of video game action going on this Black Friday. They're going big this year at inentertainment.co.uk. And then finally, of course, Amazon has their big list, Black Friday after Thanksgiving sales. So just look for that whole section. You get all sorts of stuff on electronics, clothing, books, of course, music, anything you can think of is on Amazon.
So I got an email from Amazon that was like, Black Friday deals, and it was like I launched the page. It's like, oh, what do they have? Mm-hmm. And I don't remember a single thing they had. I was just looking at the things where they tracked like whether or not they were sold out yet. Like 62% of them have been sold.
Oh, that's kind of clever. It adds that sense of urgency to the buying process.
It's like eBay, only with Amazon.
Exactly.
Still to come, we got some e-readers, or e-books, or digital books. Look. You are excited, and we have info for you about what you're going to be able to buy between now and Christmas. But while we got your attention,
it's time to thank one of our sponsors, the new Ford Sync. It offers hands-free voice command of your mobile phones and media players, so when you're in your car, you can focus on where you're going. Sync listens to your voice to let you make calls on your cell phone, search and listen to music and podcasts on your MP3 player, get turn-by-turn directions and real-time traffic and weather, even send a quick text message to folks on your contact list, all while keeping your eyes on the road. To learn more about Ford Sync, go to syncmyridepodcast.com. And to enter one of 15 free Nanos or 15 free Zunes through December 8th, send a tweet with the hashtag SyncMyRidePodcast, and you will automatically be entered to win. Get full details at syncmyridepodcast.com. Digital readers are blowing up. 1 million sold last year, close to 3 million this year, according to Forrester Research, and a slew of models on the way. So we thought we'd walk you through what you can buy between now and the end of the year, and give you a peek at the low-cost ebooks on the way.
I gotta say something. I've been seeing way too many ebooks. Some that exist, some that don't exist in the past few weeks. E-Ink really bind all these together. Basically, it's the technology behind the screens, the classic black text on the gray background. You love it or you hate it. Probably the craziest part of this is getting used to turning the pages, right? Because you hit the button and there's a refresh. And
you adapt to that after a little bit. After a little bit of time, you actually start to push the button before you get to the bottom of the page. So by the time you're ready to read the next line, you're all set to go.
Yeah, it's a little maddening at first, or at least it was for me. And I actually had to blink through it for the first one. The first one of these I used had an incredibly slow refresh rate, as none of the models were holding up here. I think Amazon's Kindle probably has the highest profile. $259 down from $359. The DX, which has a 9.7-inch screen, the basic current Kindle has a 6-inch screen, is $489 for the big Kindle. And basically, you download premium books wirelessly through the built-in Amazon store. So it's like menu, and you go
right,
into
it syncs
shop.
over Amazon's WhisperSync service that uses 3G.
WhisperNet or whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's and I gotta say, it's pretty basic. You go in there, you type in a search, you search for something, and you buy it or you don't buy it. So it's pretty easy there. Supports text files, unprotected Mobi files, MP3 audible books, PDF, HTML, doc files, JPEG, GIF files, PNG, and BMP, and graphics not so hot on any of these screens because it's 16.
Well, that's all through conversion, though. It's not native support.
That's what I was about to point out. And I was going to say, like you can do bitmaps and PNGs and stuff or graphics in your PDF files, but they're not pretty. They're grayscale.
They're grayscale, so you get the general idea. But
it is what it is. You can share the books with your iPod or your Touch to read them on there, and it's a fairly closed system. It would be nice if there was an easier way to import text onto it, because it's basically part of their experimental section to import all of those non-sort of standard formats.
Well, I tried PDF for the first time. I think it cost about $10 for an upload, and I had a full book that someone had sent me in PDF form, and I just sent it to my email address at Amazon, and it worked perfectly.
Yes, this is a good thing.
That was nice. I mean, the formatting was a little bit on the wonky side, so a few kinks to work out still, but that could have been the fault of the PDF and not so much the Kindle. Who knows?
PDFs basically get wonky on all of these depending on how they're the more extreme the formatting, and you're not going to be able to do your PDF navigation on these. It turns them into on any of these, turns them into a straight text document. They're in like 9 million retail stores now and online. Sony Reader Touch, $299 I'm holding up here, and the Sony Reader Pocket, $199. And this is the cheapest ebook you can buy right now. Shockingly, the Sony Reader Touch includes a touch screen, which is why they call it the Touch, which allows you to either use the buttons down on the base or to actually click on the page to adjust things. Actually works a lot better if you use the stylus. So that's basically what the Touch is all about. It's got some additional features that the regular or the less expensive Pocket Reader does. So the ability to play audible books, MP3s. Sony wants to be as open as possible. They're basically like EPUB, ASC4, any store you want, we'll support it. They also do Adobe Digital Editions, and their idea is that they don't want to lock you down to a single store, although they make money if you use the Sony store. You need a computer to purchase and download books. I find this incredibly frustrating. Other people don't. It's really kind of your call on that.
Are they Mac compatible?
They actually are Mac compatible now. So they basically have Macintosh or PC software. And part of the big thing is they've started pre-sales on the Daily, which is going to have a similar 3G radio integrated into there. The Touch has a 6-inch touch screen. It's going to play AAC and MP3 audio files. It's got 2 expansion slots, which if you think you're going to carry a metric ton of books, you can basically carry a metric ton of books. Most of these will carry like 1,000, 1,500 books without expanding the memory, but if you want to carry MP3s or you've got the option there. Basically a whole lot of expansion on this one. The Pocket has a 5-inch screen, which is a bit fewer lines than we'd like. Like, take a look at the difference with the amount of text you get on the page of the Pocket versus the Reader.
It almost doesn't look worth the size difference for the way that well, you can change the text size.
This is the minimum text size on the Reader.
It is, really?
Yeah, unless this is the smallest one I've found on the Pocket version.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Pocket Pocket has a 5-inch screen. I will double check over the next commercial break, but that is the smallest text I can find on that one. It also has no audio playback and no expansion slots. Now, between now and Christmas, well, if you've already ordered Sony's Reader Daily Edition or the Barnes & Noble Nook, you will probably get it by Christmas. If you order it right now, you're probably going to get it after New Year's. Sony Daily is going to cost $400. It's going to have a 7-inch screen, which is like 35 lines. I wouldn't say resolution, but it's text. 35 lines of resolution! This is like 1922. 3G wireless purchasing without a computer, like the Kindle, and they're basically claiming deals on periodicals. Newspapers are on the way. Again, it's going to be a black and white, a grayscale screen. because it's a grayscale screen, not black and white. Shipping December 18th through January 8th if you ordered today. They're, I would suspect, probably a lot closer to the 8th. Now, big news, Barnes & Noble Nook, everybody's going nuts. We tried really hard. We have some friends who've gotten sort of touched near them. They're not going to have eval units until December 18th when they start shipping them. It's going to cost $259. It has a 6-inch screen. Basically, it's very similar to the Kindle, except it has a color touchscreen down at the bottom with navigation by book covers, which is pretty slick. Wi-Fi along with AT&T 3G. There's an expansion slot there, and you can directly load and read PDF files, EPUB, and e-reader formats. So the idea is that it's going to be more open than the Kindle. You can also read the books from the Nook on the iPhone, the iPod Touch, the BlackBerry, the PC, the Mac OS. Or they tell us, right? And it's Android-based, so you can customize your screensavers.
It's such a geek dream. Like, it's still on my want list. Like, I love my Kindle too. Like, it's one of my favorite gadgets that I own, and I use it constantly. I use it every day, easily.
There's basically people who look at this and go, that's stupid, don't read a lot of books usually.
No, I read so much, and literally every time I go on an airplane, I get barraged with questions about it. Like someone sitting near me that wants to know about the Kindle, wants to know how many books it can hold and what else it can do. But the Nook, man, that's got some geek cred to it. That's pretty awesome.
It's the underlying
I feel like
technology
I'm cheating on my
has
Kindle, though.
Well, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. It's like 14 days worth of battery life on the Amazon Kindle, somewhere around 10. They're claiming for the Nook. It's going to be really interesting to see how it functions in the real world, because the specs sound great. By the way, if you order one right now, they expect to ship it to you on January 4th, unless some ship early and people put them on eBay for extravagant sums of money, because somebody always does that.
Excellent. Well, hey, Patrick got his hands on a few beta models of ebooks that will be available next year, so check out the video he shot a few days ago.
We love ebooks here at Tekzilla, and based on the email we've been getting, so do you. Amazon's Kindle and the Sony readers are the big player right now. Those three start at $200 and climb up. Barnes & Noble's Nook is going to hit the street in late November with a small color LCD panel below the main e-ink display. That's going to be $260. But we expect to see a ton of ebooks at the 2010 CES show in January. Many like this, the Alex reader from Spring Design, are going to be powered by a new chipset from Marvell. Now, why would you care about the processor that goes inside an ebook? Well, because Marvell is integrated in the controller for e-ink screens, which means lower costs and less engineering time for ebook manufacturers, and a faster refresh rate on the screen if everything gets put together properly. This is cool, but what's even cooler is the idea that they can get a $100 ebook built out of this hardware, possibly in as slim a design as this mock-up from Marvell. This is a pretty slick piece of hardware. Small, tiny, light, and think about having an enormous library inside of there. I like that thought. The e-ink screens are great to read. Now, this is pretty interesting. The Alex Spring readers, which I'm holding up right here, and it actually has, let me close that, we're about to run out of battery power, enough power. The same Marvell chipset that's inexpensive also has enough power to run a browser off of 3G or Wi-Fi. And if you're worried about battery life, and you should be, because you're talking about a single day of use with the LCD versus weeks for the e-ink, you hit the button right there at the top. It's going to extract the information from the page, throw it up on the e-ink section, and you've got low power e-ink reading. That's good. That's serious battery savings. We're going to see more of the Spring Designs Alex reader and quite a few more ebooks at CES in January 2010. In the meantime, stay tuned to Tekzilla for our review of Barnes & Noble's Nook in November, and get ready for low-cost ebooks in the near future. I like the idea of a sub-$100 ebook. Okay, Marvell's not promising that, but I bet it's real close. Oh, good. So, like Marvell, obviously, the refresh rate on that one's really fast. They plan on it. There's going to be an ebook pavilion at CES.
A whole pavilion?
A whole pavilion.
Really?
Well, you've seen pavilions. Pavilions can be like four guys with card tables. Like, hi, we have the next generation
That's going to be totally
technology.
my beat. I claim that beat for CES this year.
We will talk. We will talk to Grace.
Want it.
I'm sure you can have it, although you might be fighting with Jim Louderback over that one, because he's been using ebooks longer than anyone I know.
He decides that he wants to be a gadget reporter when he wants to play with the gadgets he wants to play with.
He
takes our beats at CES, the fun ones. And I can't say anything because he's the boss. Oh wait, I just did.
So email.
Just kidding, Jim.
Oh my goodness. Hey, look, it'll be interesting. There's supposed to be a ton of announcements at CES, and we expect the $100 ebook, probably with some variation of e-ink technology, to come out sometime next year, hopefully with a 6 or 7-inch screen and not a 5-inch screen. Oh my goodness.
A lot of good options.
A lot of good options. So we hope that has helped you out with your ebook lust, and we will get hands-on with the Barnes & Noble Nook as soon as they deign to present us one for your edification. Actually, for our, what she said. Welcome to this week's Freebie Download Pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week, Veronica's Tongue Cleaner Max. No, just kidding, it's Lightbox free. You can snap a dozen digital pictures in seconds, but correcting them can take forever, especially if you're intimidated by traditional photo editing tools. But even if you're all about Photoshop, the GIMP, or Paint.net, you should definitely check out Lightbox Free. The quick edit mode in this image editor is amazing. Thanks to easy-to-use sliders and real-time corrections, it makes fixing things almost instantaneous. Tweaking colors, removing red eye, souping up saturation, and eliminating those odd little things in the frame. Sometimes you need to do some fast photo editing, and if you want a fun tool to do it with, you should check out Lightbox Free. It even works with RAW from your DSLR. Last week we told you Google Chrome OS might be out this week, not even close. So to give you a taste of what the operating system is all about, we've got our beloved guest, the man with the hands-on experience. Will Smith, editor-in-chief, Maximum PC Magazine, is back. Sir, it's a new operating system.
It is a new, well, kind of.
Right.
It's kind of a new, it's Linux. But Linux with a really pretty UI.
Oh, it's just a distro?
Super. It's not just a distro. I mean,
it's a
come
distro.
on.
It's the Google distro.
It's Linux. It's Ubuntu. It's a little bit of Moblin. It's a lot of Chrome browser. So the whole UI is Chrome. There's no control panel. There's no file browser. Well, the file browser is Chrome.
So really, I mean, because this is not Android.
No, not at all. This is the exact opposite of Android. Android is a mobile OS for phones. This is, I guess it's not the exact opposite, but it's different from Android. This is
a browser
for
that
ARM
happens-
and x86.
Okay.
So netbooks,
Right.
mostly. And it's really the Linux kernel with Ubuntu attached, and then this different file browser on top of the base Linux OS.
So literally, it's Google Chrome, the browser, as your desktop.
The
for
browser,
operating system.
the OS. It's like the sequel to Google Chrome.
Tell me what the home. Does the desktop look like a Chrome? Does it look like a browser?
So here's what you do. You fire it up, you log in with your Gmail username and password, your Google account username and password. It pulls some stuff down from the cloud. It gives you a Chrome OS, a Chrome browser frame that has this other little extra tab on the top left. And that little extra tab is shortcuts to your applications that are really just web apps. I mean, they're shortcuts to websites. So, Gmail, Google Docs, Google Calendar, all that kind of stuff.
Now, I'm going to use a three-letter phrase in a second, and I want you to know that it means stuff out of luck. So, if you do not have web access, are you SOL in terms of accessing your applications, your docs?
It's unclear. They haven't really said. What they have said is that they're actually going to pull stuff down from the cloud, save it locally on the machine like a cache.
Okay.
So this isn't your mid-90s Sun thin client that requires constant connection. We all remember laughing.
We're going to run a Java machine.
Yeah, exactly.
And as soon as the network goes down, your entire workforce is disabled.
So yeah, I mean, it's a little different than that. I mean, you're looking at a browser. You access it all from the machine. If you're not connected, we think they haven't said. We think you'll be able to use the local cache. It's kind of like the way Google Gears works now, but for the whole OS.
So if you don't like Google or Google Docs or Google Search or just Google in general, this is definitely not the operating system for you.
I mean, they demoed Microsoft Excel spreadsheet using the web version of Office Live or whatever it's called. Probably not for you though. It's going to be all super tight into your Google
I have a vision
account.
of like the Google name living on my desktop 24/7, 365.
I mean, if you like Google, then it's a good thing. But there's no desktop. You can't zoom out.
Will it run Flash?
It'll run Flash. It runs Flash. It runs. I mean, we tried a bunch of different stuff. We tried YouTube. This is all running in a virtual machine, so performance is a little iffy. But it's designed for netbooks. So I mean, it's not a high performance kind of world.
Well, maybe high performance. Just high performance for very little tiny processors.
Well, I mean, but for web browsing, I mean, Atom works really well. Despite all the kind of grief that we give Intel.
It works really well up to about 30 tabs in Chrome OS.
You
Somewhere between 30
probably
and 100
don't want to have 30
tabs,
tabs
things
running.
go right down.
Exactly. But yeah, so I mean, but it's everything you get in Chrome now. It's essentially if you opened Windows, took away the start menu,
but with an operating
and just
system.
auto load Chrome. Yeah, but there's no OS. There's no control. I mean, there's no adjusting your battery settings. There's no adjusting your resolution. None of that stuff.
So we can only hope that they do a really good job in battery management, which is non-trivial, as everybody in the BSD Linux world is known for using.
Well, that's the interesting thing that they're doing is they're setting a very specific fixed hardware platform. So they're only going to support certain Wi-Fi chipsets, which I assume is a battery thing. They're only going to support SSDs. So they want to make sure that you have a good experience. So they want this to be more like a TV than a computer. They want you to open it up, have it running in 5-7 seconds, log in, take another 2 seconds, and be on the internet ready to go.
So then do you expect this to show up on new hardware, or will people retrofit it?
Well,
this sounds like something they want to push out into next generation.
It's about
hardware.
a year out, minimum. It sounds like what they're going to do is have existing hardware that either you can upgrade if you're an enthusiast like we are, or people go out and buy a new one off the shelf. People were talking about $300 computers, so it's not. It's not a huge outlay. I mean, it's more than I'd want to dispose of every year.
It's a bad Saturday night out for many of us.
Yeah, exactly.
So skip the Saturday night out, buy a netbook.
Go skydiving, buy a netbook. It's one or the other.
I like that thought. So next year, a little closer to home, what's in Maximum PC this month?
Maximum PC this month is a ton of free stuff you can get on the internet. Awesome free stuff. So
we have a free episode like next week.
Oh, isn't that convenient?
Or maybe we should just read the book on the show.
I'll give you the issue. But I mean, basically, I've seen a bunch of these free kind of stories in the past. I mean, you have too. It's kind of crap. I mean, lots of it's not particularly good.
Are you saying this is the episode that gets put together as everybody's frantically thinking about their vacations at Christmas?
No. That's the one about Chrome OS, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. I mean, it's we do it because we were looking and we saw a ton of really amazing free stuff floating around. And we're like, how is it? How does this work? I mean, we've talked about Dropbox before, but all the way down to free ice cream cones at Baskin Robbins.
Venture capital funded organizations that may or may not have a business model they may or may not have revealed yet.
We can hope they have a business model because we like their services.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Please don't go out of business. We like your stuff. Dude, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
You're going to be coming back actually very shortly to talk about sort of the big tech that's coming out next year. And we'll probably mock some of the tech that came out this year.
I like to mock things. It's what I do.
What's the website, sir?
MaximumPC.com, and we do a podcast every week too.
Ooh, and how do we find that?
It's on MaximumPC.com as well.
So it's not like MaximumPC.com.
No, we don't have like a Maximum PC podcast or anything like that. It's just MaximumPC.com/.
Don't you know? No one can find you if you don't have a dedicated URL.
I like to keep it all in one handy dandy URL.
All back to the homepage,
exactly.
People. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Will Smith, editor-in-chief, MaximumPC.com. MaximumPC.com. Check out his podcast. He'd appreciate it. Coming up next, geotagging your photos. It's fun, and you don't need any expensive hardware. But first, let's take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Squarespace. You can now manage your entire Squarespace website on the go with the new Squarespace iPhone application. Post and edit entries, manage content, save drafts, preview your updates, and more, all directly from your iPhone. Snap a photo with your phone and upload it directly to your Squarespace site instantaneously. Want to check in your view counts? The iPhone app has all the stats available. Unique visits, page views, popular search terms, RSS subscribers, and top referrers are all right there under the stats tab. So even if you're not at your desk, you can keep your website up to date. All you need is your iPhone. And if you're just starting out with Squarespace, be sure to use the code Tekzilla when you opt in and purchase that puppy. You'll get 10% off the lifetime of your order. Check it all out at squarespace.com.
Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too dull and irresistible. This week's pick, BlackFriday.net. Black Friday is upon us, and to help you keep track of all the products you want to pick up on this holiest of all shopping days, we bring you to BlackFriday.net. Here's how it works. First, check out all the retailers on the right and see how many different deals they have listed. More are added every day as Black Friday looms closer. Then, when you see something you'd like, add it to your shopping list. This is where you can keep track of all the items that you want to buy. The listed prices are the deals you can get on Friday, so they may not match the current prices on the site once you click through. But be aware that adding something to your list does not reserve it for you. You still have to hop on the computer or get to the store early like everyone else. But you can print out your list and take it with you or share with friends and family. So if you don't want to skim the newspapers or internet for the best deals, just get all your shopping research done on BlackFriday.net. And hey, keep your paws off that 32-inch LCD from Westinghouse. That's mine. In her never-ending quest to explore new roads and highways, Tekzilla associate producer Serafina Kernberger has been busy geotagging the photos she's taken along her journeys. And she's here now to show us how anyone can geotag their own photos. All right, so for anyone who doesn't know, what is geotagging and how do you use it?
Geotagging is essentially adding the GPS coordinates to the photos that you've taken, embedding it into the EXIF data so that you can then pull it up on a map and see where those photos were.
So I imagine there's a lot of different hardware solutions for this.
There are a few. Certain camera manufacturers, Canon, Sony, for example, create their own specific, model-specific devices that will fit onto the camera and log the GPS data that way. Or you can just buy a separate device that you can put your SD card in, for example, and then synchronize the time and save the GPS data that way.
And so iPhones and Android phones also do this automatically?
Yeah, if your cell phone is GPS enabled, chances are that the photos that it takes will include the GPS data on those also.
So what about social networking, like sites like Picasa and Flickr? I know you can add like little markers on a map to show where you took your photos, but it's kind of a pain because they're really general. Like it's hard to get an exact location unless you know.
Yeah, it's guesswork for the most part. You know, if you're on a road trip and you pull over on the side of the road to take a photo, and then you go home and you try to remember which turnout did I pull off at?
Right.
I think it was, you know, that one. So it's, you know, you can do it, you know, Flickr and Picasa, iPhoto even, you can drag and drop. But what I'm going to show you here today is some pieces of software that will take if you have a GPS device for your car, for example, then you can use the tracks that it saves and synchronize the time code on your GPS device, synchronize that with your camera, and then you have the GPS data.
Oh, fantastic. That makes it a lot easier.
So this one that I have here is GeoSetter for Windows. There's also GPS Photo Linker for Mac.
Are those both free?
Both free.
Cool.
Donationware, so.
Help developers.
Exactly. So the first step that you have to do is you have to get the information off your GPS device in the form of a GPX. GPX is the most universal file format. There are several different ones depending on the software that you use.
Okay.
And each GPS device is going to have its own software for pulling that information off the device. So once you have that, then you can go into, for example, GeoSetter and select the photos that you would like to geotag. Go over here into Synchronize with GPS data files. And from this window, you can adjust the time. If your camera and your GPS device aren't exactly synchronized time-wise, if your camera, you still have it set on, you know, January 1st, 2006.
Yeah, I never set the time on my cameras. I'm pretty bad with that.
Right. So you can, there are settings here where you can adjust that. It makes it a lot easier if they are synchronized. But
it's too bad you can't just plug in your camera to the GPS using like a USB cable and then be able to use it as a master and slave and actually have it sync each other so it's exact.
That would be ideal.
That would be awesome.
But it doesn't work that way.
Gotta work together, technology.
I
Make the
wish.
world a better place. All right,
Work
so what
on that,
next?
Veronica.
All right.
So that, yeah, then just click OK, and there it says GPS data has been found for all images.
So you can actually see a story of your entire trip because you can see exactly when you took the photos, you can see exactly where you took the photos, and then have all that data compiled in one location.
Exactly.
Can you then upload it to like Flickr, for example, and have all
Flickr,
that information right?
Google Earth,
sweet.
Picasa, you know, iPhoto does it too, and yeah. So let me show you the my Flickr page here. This batch of photos, you can see. You just click Map, and then it shows up all the locations, just like you saw in GeoSetter, and you can see where these were taken.
You know why I like this? Because this way I can live vicariously through you without having to actually go out and be on the motorcycle because I'm a big giant chicken.
Yes.
So thank you for showing me. That's exciting. I can even plug it into Google Earth and then like fly through your path, your
Take the tour.
adventures.
Yeah,
Take a little tour
absolutely.
in the life of Serafina. All right, well, coming up next, we have more viewer questions. But first, it's time now to thank one of our sponsors, Nokia's Booklet 3G, revolutionizing mobility again. Powered by the efficient Intel Atom processor, the Nokia Booklet 3G is built to deliver up to 12 hours of battery life. You heard right, 12 hours of battery life. Never be a slave to power outlets again. And at less than 2.76 pounds and less than 1 inch thin, the Nokia Booklet 3G is the perfect size for anyone who needs to work on the go. And if you're worried about getting online, fear not. With its wide range of always-on connectivity features like GSPA and Wi-Fi, you'll always be able to reach the net. And with Bluetooth connectivity, compatible peripherals can connect without the hassle of tangled wires and plugs. Plus, with Windows 7 installed, the Nokia Booklet 3G is compatible with thousands of popular applications and services, including Nokia's Ovi online service. Prices start at $299.99 with an AT&T Data Connect plan and 2-year activation. You can find the Nokia Booklet 3G for sale at all US Best Buy locations soon. For more feature info on the Nokia Booklet 3G, go to nokia.com/booklet3G.
A few weeks ago, we had on Maximum PC's Will Smith to talk about building your own Windows Home server. For Black Friday, let's talk about buying one that's been built for you. HP is the highest profile for these box-in. The design of the new HP MediaSmart Server EX495 looks similar to previous models with 4 drive bays, one used for the main system drive, 3 optional drive expansion bays, and a host of USB ports on the back, along with Ethernet and eSATA. Notice there's no video port. It's all administered via the web after you install HP's client software. These boxes are even more performance-oriented than the last round of MediaSmart boxes from HP. The top-of-the-line 2.5 gigahertz dual-core Pentium has 2 gigabytes of RAM, a 1.5 terabyte drive, and it is great for converting video on the fly, which is actually built into the HP server along with the ability to collect media from all the machines in your house. It's pretty slick. You basically press a button and it basically searches any machine it has access to. Yes, there is OS X support in the MediaSmart servers from HP. A lot of folks have been using SuperDuper to image OS X basically installs on the Windows Home servers. HP has OS X support for Time Machine backups and access to shared folders built in, and yes, you can configure your MediaSmart server via HP's web-based control panel. Remote access built in. I gotta say it's pretty cool because they actually give you the ability to set up a dynamic DNS. They give you a free subscription for a year to TZO, so we've got like something grayed out.hp MediaSmart server.com, I think it is. Now, I'm being vague about that because I don't want anybody to log into our machine and try to crack it. You want to spend less? HP's got the EX490. It drops down to a 2.2 gigahertz Celeron, a single gigabyte of RAM, and a 1 terabyte drive. Drops the price down to $500. The LX195 has a wee 640 gigabyte drive with no internal drive base, so all your expansion is by external USB drives. It costs $249, but it is still great for backup and media streaming. Just use external drives for expansion on that one. And oh, the EX495 that we were showing up there before, that is $650, probably $675 depending on where you're shopping, but it is a powerful all-in-one pre-built machine with a very nice set of drive bays to drop stuff in.
Our next email comes from Matt, who claims to be a headphone killer. He writes, I'm looking for a good pair of headphones that can survive my abuse. I have killed everything from the cheap iPhone starter set to some decent Skull Candy earbuds to snapping a pair of MDR NC6s in half. I'm looking for something that has good sound quality, is fairly inexpensive, less than $100, and can survive my sleeping in them every night. Earbuds are the most convenient, but I'm okay with over-the-ear. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Matt in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
You know, they make snowboarding helmets with ears. Like
that would not be
built into
comfortable
them.
to sleep in.
It might be more comfortable than wrapping the cable.
Don't wrap the cable around your neck either. So
Yeah.
your best bet would be to get a pair that has a detachable cable that separates from the rest of the cord. So instead of snapping when you snag it on something, it just pulls the cord apart. It's usually when they have like an extension cable thing that's included with the entire set.
Well, I think especially if it's headphones, you want the lowest profile headphones as possible because if you have the big cups that stick out,
yeah.
you know,
I'm
that
just
makes
talking
it more
about
likely to rip loose.
Other than his sleeping stuff, I mean, if he's just walking around and messing up his headphones too.
Apparently, he can mess them up in his sleep. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, the Shure SE 115s all have the detachable cables, but they're like $115, so it's a little bit over your budget, but
I've
they
seen
sound
them on sale
amazing.
for under $100. Headroom.com is a good place to check for those.
There you go. Also, the
Headphone.com.
Sennheiser HD25s are built very sturdily, and they have tons of people on HeadFi that have had very good things to say about how indestructible they are. If you can get a pair of headphones with a warranty, of course, consider that as well. If you can get like a 5-year warranty on some more expensive pairs.
Well, you just need to be careful that the warranty actually covers like ripping the cable out while sleeping because they may not buy that as a manufacturer's defect.
I don't know how you're messing them up when you're sleeping.
Well, the
There's some
headbands
interesting
break
things
and sometimes the cups break.
I guess. Yeah, the Sennheisers are over the ear, so those are going to be, they're pretty small profile, so you won't have to worry about. Yeah, they could be good for sleeping. So check a warranty and see if they have parts that you can also replace to fix them, so you don't have to buy a whole new set. You can just, get the new parts that you need, the ones that have failed you. According to Pat, the Shures are on sale right now on Headroom, like he said, so keep your eyes open for some deals. Any other personal favorites of yours?
Putting the speaker under the pillow can be nice, but unless you were basically using the headphones because you're trying to block out.
If he has a girlfriend, she might not like that. Having a speaker in the bed. Maybe that's why he wears headphones. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I can't imagine. You know what? You never know what a girlfriend likes or doesn't like. Maybe it's the girlfriend ripping the headphones off and breaking them.
Going down a rabbit hole.
Have you seen Revision 3's new show? It's called Instant Messages. If you like witty, clever, and biting humor, this is the show for you. Words cannot do it justice, so here's a peek.
Me, bicyclist, heading to jury duty on 10th Street. You, Prius driver, crossing over 2 lanes, hitting me with your car. I was hoping we could catch up for a cup of coffee so I could get your views on the environment and strangle you.
Pure evil, ladies and gentlemen, and I love the idea of taking innocent postings on the internets and acting them out for all of us. Catch Instant Messages. It's up every Friday at revision3.com/INSTMSGS.
That's internet speak for instant messages.
Well, you know, I just wanted to be all exact.
No, I know. I'm just telling them.
Do you
That's
ever break Brian's headphones when he sleeps with them?
And for all of you watching, we live on your questions. So email us, Tekzilla at revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos, you ask us, we'll do it. But we need those emails, so don't be shy. Send them on in to Tekzilla at revision3.com. And as always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forum. Share your thoughts, ideas, or comments with other fans of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Until next time, you've been watching Tekzilla.
Alright, cool. In 3 smiles, Veronica.
I am smiling.
Toto.
I'm smiling.
Okay,
I hate you.
3, 2.
He's heavy breathing into my ear again. No.
Sounds like the
Nokia's butt look. Bleh.
Nokia's butt.
Sorry, I'm shy. It's okay. Does my hair look funny? I usually check. No, it goes with the beard, actually. Okay, good.
If you've got a question about tech or the best way to ground a turkey or man, we go. What? Why would you write that? Just say brine a turkey. No, why would I brine a man? Stop it. This is not Halloween.
What, you've never soaked Ryan in salt for a few hours?
No.
Makes him all
Can't even
juicy
get him to
and
go into a
fun.
swimming pool.
I read it with verve and aplomb. I read it with style and joy.